it's the reality of the numbers, it's the reality of the emotions, it's the reality of the rigmarole.
Yeah.
So you gotta breathe, 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 breathe. Let it go and let it be.
It's a day later.
He just handed these to me, and I just finished this one. So that's what's happening in our current life. But we just had a music practice at the church, and that was like our first time kind of processing in person with our friends. Just kind of some of these initial emotions, and I guess part of what made it kind of emotional, I mean, it's an emotional thing, right, in general, but I think being in my 5th week of IVs and walking into the church tonight, I felt just as out of breath, and I was coughing just as hard as I was before IVs, and so part of that was like, oh, like, this is where my body's at.
Just like the reality sinking in.
Yeah.
Of just being sick and not feeling much better after all these IVs, and then on top of, like, our brains have been processing the fact that Mary's going for this full eval for transplant, and I think we just kind of shared that with our friends at church and just processed a little bit with them, and
it was cool. It was at the end of music practice, and they prayed for us and then asked, is there another song you want to sing before we leave? And I was like, I can't sing, like, I'm just gonna cry the whole time. But I wanted them to sing He Will Hold Me Fast, which last year was a song that I guess was really impactful for me during a time when one of my friends passed away, and I just, like, I really love that song in general, and so they played it, and, like, Peter and I just sat in the pew and, like, listened and cried and, like, processed. But I was sharing with them the psalm that I read this morning was Psalm 33, and I mean, the whole psalm is really amazing, but some of the verses that I love life. Seltzer water much?
Yeah.
Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield, for our heart is glad in him because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we hope in you. And it was so perfectly timed that that was the psalm that I read this morning, and I was just feeling like extra raw today, and I think part of that was like yesterday we were just like, okay, this is what we gotta do, we gotta go for
These
the
are
full,
the next steps.
like, yeah.
It was more like logistics.
Yeah.
And today's more processing some of those emotions, and
yeah. And I think also with CF life, part of CF life is decline, and you know, you get sicker, you get a little better, you get a little sicker, you get a little better, and that's life, right? So you learn to feel sick, your body gets used to it, your brain starts to get used to it, but I don't know. I think a lot of things are like going on right now, but like I was saying to our friends at church, like I have friends with CF who are sicker than I am right now. And so it's weird to me to think like this is where I'm at. I guess I just feel like, oh no, like there's sicker people, like I'll be okay. I just need to keep fighting and that sort of mentality. But, you know, Duke isn't comparing me to other people. Duke is, they want to look at my body and see where my body's at in relation to transplant and if it can handle it, if, you know, how close are we to needing it and all of that sort of thing. And so I guess that was part of my mentality of just like figuring out, walking out of the church tonight, of course, coughing really hard and just like trying to catch my breath and all of that is just, it's the physical outward reality of what's going on in the inside of my body.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because it's like, I'm not in denial about where my health is at. It's not great, but like I said, I have friends who are clinically or numerically sicker than me. And so, yeah, it's just, it's this whole thing. It's the whole thing. It's the reality of the numbers. It's the reality of the emotions. It's the reality of the rigmarole.
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole thing.
It's a lot of reality. And I think that when life comes in moments like these, you start to process, and it's raw and emotional, and it's valid, and it's part of the journey.
Yeah, and I think you know, of the many friends and family who I know who have had transplants, every single one of their journeys has been different.
Mm-hmm.
And I can think of a friend who had a really emotional journey, like coming to realize like that's where she's at for transplant. And I think actually, now that I say that out loud, I think everybody's is. I think it's an emotional because I mean, a part of me feels like before these clips, we need to do like the bullet point realities of transplant, just for people who don't have any framework of what is transplant and why is it such a big deal kind of thing.
Well, we made a video about that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So you can click on that video probably before you watch any of these in this journey.
Yeah.
To kind of give a preface, but
it's a big deal. And I think, okay, so like, for me, like I can't, it's very hard for me to separate the logistics from the emotions, like knowing what Peter's gonna go through during those, the whole thing, like, it's just, you know, I've been on the other side of transplant, meaning watching my sister go through it, and I've watched my family care for her and support her, and her husband care for her and support her, and I know what the other side looks like, and it's hard, and there's no way around that. And so part of me is thinking of Peter and my family, and it's just, but like, honestly, I feel so like together with you. Like yesterday, before we got that call, like, he had said, like, I can tell you aren't feeling good, and like, you know, we were out like shopping, and we weren't like and frustrated with each other. We just kind of weren't vibing, like, whatever. And then immediately when we got that call, like, we were kissing through the call. Like, the guy would say something scary and I'd, like, kiss Peter. And after that call, like, we felt so unified and, like, together. And that's my IV beeping. So anyway, it's just part of the process.
Yep.
But
hence the processing.
yeah, right? But yeah. I feel like one of these clips you should process.
Yeah.
Do you need the tiny microphone?
No.
But yeah, everybody processes differently. Internal processors, external processors, but overall we just feel physically just so tired.
Yeah.
And part of me, I was physically just really, really tired this afternoon, and I really wanted to go to music practice tonight, but I was like so tired, and then I realized how emotional I was feeling, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna cry the whole time. But I didn't share the, like, I didn't talk about it until after music practice, which was the right choice. I wouldn't have been able to sing at all. But I was partially thinking, like, no, maybe I shouldn't go tonight because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bawl my eyes out. But the reality was, like, I think we needed that, like,
Yeah.
sitting in that pew.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be a moment in time.
Yeah. I think I was thinking that as we were sitting there, like, basically our friends are singing the truth to us in this moment. And I was like, this is going to be a moment that we're going to come back to again and again in the months and years from now. And remember and be reminded of perspective amidst the processing and the craziness of whatever life looks like. And
yeah, I agree.